RD's green. OC. OC green, no exceptions. Next step 88. MD, this is TC on the project net.
TC, this is MD. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Request permission to execute balloon launch.
TC, this is MD. You may launch when ready.
Thank you, sir. All stations in the TC's checklist, all steps through step 89 are complete. OC, this is TC on the project net. OC, go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. The LDSD project is green. We request a clear range for execution of the balloon launch. OC copies. When final clearance has been granted, I will report back. Thank you, sir. Next step, 90.
OC FSO.
What FSO?
Predicted track of the balloon based on latest data indicates that we're going to be first headed offshore up until about 10,000 feet, then the balloon will go northeast till about 35,000 feet, then between up to 40,000 feet we'll be coming inland, then due north from there. It won't be until about 60,000 feet that the winds will help us get offshore. So just be advised, worst case scenario is we'll overfly populated areas such as Hanalei, but that's the worst case scenario at this time.
OC copies.
And we have warned the FAA, so they're aware of that.
All right, just a few minutes ago, we heard the go, no-go, and the status polls. And Dan, what does that mean?
Looks like we're go for launching the balloon. Everything is looking great, and now they're just doing some of the very final preparations before they get there.
And we also witnessed a very, very old tradition from the folks here at JPL, breaking out the peanuts. Here at JPL, it's a tradition. These are good luck peanuts dating back to old missions where we had difficulties and challenges and able to finally get a success one day when one of the engineers pulled out some peanuts, and voila, it was decided that eating peanuts before a big mission is a good luck charm for us, and so there they are. They're having their peanuts.
And all stations here. All stations here at the top. Just a reminder, with when the umbilical pulls here at approximately L-10 minutes, we'll be watching very closely our telemetry flow, because that is a no-go criteria. If we
go ahead.
Do we come in up on step 174? I need to know if you're going to have any issues. Provide me a clean range for balloon launch.
It is clean right now. Like we advised before, we advised the FAA there's a potential, so keep an eye on it, but you're good to go.
Copy. Thank you, sir. CO, OC on the countdown.
Go ahead.
Roger, sir. Range system checks have been completed and ready. Request permission to proceed with LDSD balloon launch.
CCO, permission granted. Proceed with balloon launch.
OC copy. Check 174, 175, 176. TC, OC on the project net. Go ahead, OC. Roger. Range is clear. Balloon launch is authorized. Copy that. Launch authorized. DPO, this is TC on the project net. Go, TC. Yes, sir. Check item authorized to commence the balloon launch. Check item 177.
Thank you, TC.
Also at this time, check item 178. We're going to initiate three-word hold protocol at this time. Report your status by exception only.
And I want to remind folks that Dan and I are sitting comfortably in a studio at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. We're the folks that built this test vehicle, but this experimental test is actually taking place at the U.S. Navy's Pacific Missile Range Facility. It's on the west end of Kauai, Hawaii. Now, this is considered an ideal location because of its climate, and there's plenty of open space there, free of encroachment. The base itself covers roughly 2,385 acres, but there's also over 1,100 square miles of instrumented underwater range and over 42,000 square miles of controlled airspace. It is the world's largest range with instruments that can simultaneously track ships, aircraft, space vehicles, even submarines, and that is why we are there.
Just screen grab me eating peanuts. See, there's me eating peanuts. Not from your face. Such a fat ass. Steve has the answers of hands, and Jeff, you're like sneezing.
Yeah, you're either sneezing or putting peanuts up your nose. Those are the two options.
Wait, did the background monitor say LDSD?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't know he was playing up.
Yeah, kick me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm with stupid.
You're on the video. Good. Good. I'm like, what is this?
Hey guys, keep it down a little bit. It's getting a little too loud.
Let's bring people up to speed once again what to expect during the test. My understanding is we're getting pretty close. So what will folks be seeing as this test begins?
Yeah, so what we're waiting on, one of the last things that has to happen is there's an umbilical cable connecting the test vehicle to the ground, and that has to be pulled before we can launch the balloon. So that's actually one of the last steps that they're waiting on right now. After the balloon launches, it's going to take a couple of hours to float up to 120,000 feet. That's the altitude where the test vehicle is going to drop off the balloon, and the rest of the test will start. What's going to happen then is the test vehicle drops off the balloon, and then it starts spinning up for stability like a football. Then the big rocket in the back of it, you could actually see the nozzle of that rocket in the view just now, will fire and blast the vehicle off, accelerating it up to 4 times the speed of sound. It also takes it on an upward trajectory, so it increases the altitude from 120,000 to 180,000 feet. That's 5 times as high as the 747 flies. That rocket burns for about 1 minute, and after it burns out, then we stop spinning to get ready for our test, and that's the time when we're going just the right speed and we're at just the right altitude to simulate those Mars conditions. So that's when we very quickly inflate the SIAD, that inflatable donut. And so that takes us down from Mach 4 to Mach 2. We're taking all sorts of measurements at that time, pressure measurements, temperature measurements, video, checking to see how that SIAD is performing. Once we slow down to about Mach 2, then it's time for the second part of the braking system to kick in, and that is a big parachute. It's actually the largest supersonic parachute that we've ever tested. It's 110 feet in diameter. It's over twice the area of the parachute that we used to land Curiosity a couple of years ago. And so that parachute will deploy, and then that will slow us down from Mach 2 to sort of a coasting speed, where we'll eventually coast down into the Pacific Ocean, and then we'll send a ship out to go fish it out.
Dan, you just brought up Curiosity, and that brings up a point. Haven't we already landed on Mars, and why is this necessary?
Yeah, so Curiosity landed on Mars a couple of years ago, and it weighs a little bit less than a Mini Cooper. Oh, hold on. I think that we're getting something on the VOCA that we might want to bring up.
The proper hold authority are allowed to call a hold on the project net from this point through balloon launch. The following personnel have hold authority for this terminal count: mission director, test conductor, flight director, BPO mission manager, recovery director, and the appropriate range personnel.
Wait a sec. So, Dan, was that a hold? Is everything going to be continuing as planned, or was that a hold?
No, it wasn't a hold. They were just reviewing which people actually have the authority to place a hold on the test from this point on. So there was just a review of personnel, but everything is still going according to schedule.
So we heard the go, no go. Everything is ready to go ahead as planned. The launch window is up until, is it noon our time or beyond that?
Yeah, so we're looking at sort of between now and about noon Pacific, so within the next half hour or so. We don't have anything more specific just yet.
All right, so standing by.
All stations, this is BPO. Inflation is complete.
DC copy. All station to countdown. Balloon inflation has been completed. Check item 179. Balloon inflation completion time is 18:33:15.
OSS, NASA safety.
George, let's go.
Roger. Let me know when you all are clear of the area.
Correct. I will.
We just heard that inflation is complete, so the balloon is ready to launch at any time now.
Yeah, the latest I'm hearing is that we're maybe about 10 minutes out. There's a few last-minute things to do, so they're getting really close, but they're not quite there yet.
And let's explain once again why we're doing this. We've been talking about we're trying to create a better way to land on Mars. Why is it necessary? Haven't we already landed on Mars? Curiosity landed just a year ago. Why is this necessary?
Yeah, so the Curiosity rover weighs a little bit less than a Mini Cooper, and that's already a pretty good size for a rover on Mars. But we know that in the future we want to land bigger stuff, bigger rovers, and eventually human habitats on Mars. And those things are going to be a lot heavier than Curiosity, and that means that it's going to be harder to slow them down for the landing on Mars. If we try landing a big human habitat on Mars using the same braking system that we used to land Curiosity, it would be a little bit like pulling the brakes out of a Mini Cooper and just sticking them into a semi-truck and hoping that they'll work. They wouldn't work very well. If you want to drive a semi-truck, you need bigger brakes that are designed to slow down a semi-truck. And so what we're doing today is we're testing the bigger brakes that we've specifically designed to land bigger spacecraft on Mars in the future.
And I have to correct myself. I just produced a rover report celebrating Curiosity's first Martian year on Mars. So landed a Martian year ago. So what's up ahead? We're just standing by waiting for this launch to take place. The window is anywhere between now and the top of the hour. That's 12 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Hawaii time, and we are all standing by.
BPO, this is TC on the project.
DC, this is BPO, umbilical cable, North Pole.
Copy that. Check item 180.
Good telemetry.
Batteries BPO, this is
umbilical
TC
cables have been pulled.
Good, DC.
Yeah, we're getting the screensaver on Global Mapper.
Yes, Robert here making the
Flight
final
systems, looks like we're good.
Copy that. Good vehicle following on the pull.
OSS, master safety.
SS, go.
Roger, I'm moving over to Project
so we're
Safety.
waiting for
If
Global
you
Mapper
could give
to
me
come
your
up.
status on that net when you're ready.
Copy, will do.
I'd like to let people know just how much they'll be able to see during this test. We have 3 launch pad cameras on the ground, 3 range cameras, and we also have 2 infrared cameras that we'll be watching. But these are all ground assets. These are all cameras on the ground. So we'll be able to see this balloon launch and go up and on ascent. Up until it's just a tiny dot, and then we will lose a visual on it. We won't be able to see it any longer, and so for several hours we will not be able to see it.
Check item 182.
And then we will be able to get visual on it again when cameras on the test vehicle fire up about 20 minutes or so before the drop test begins. So just letting people know what kind of pictures they will be seeing today.
NASA OSS, NSO.
Master Safety, this is OSS. I do not have the other channel on this radio for status.
Roger, are you clear of the area and all non-essential personnel clear?
Yes, I've cleared the area. All other personnel have left.
Roger.
BPO, this is TC on Project Net.
Balloon has been released from the spool.
Balloon has been released from the spool. Check item 183.
Yeah, right there. Zoom in and enhance. Yeah. And then you're gonna have to go forward. Right on the view. Yeah, there you go.
Balloon is launched. Balloon is launched.
Balloon launch, balloon launch. Launch time 18:40:52. TC, OC. Go ahead, OC. Roger, launch count has been adjusted to account for actual T0. I copy that. BPO, this is TC on Project Net. PNC off net. Flight ordnance. Go ahead, ordnance. Can I get you over here for a second?
TC, this is NSO.
Go ahead, NSO.
Roger, we've got 2 more people and we're getting ready to head out of the area.
Okay, copy that. TCOC. TCOC. Go ahead, OC. Roger, we got AOS on all TM antennas. Can you repeat? Roger, AOS on all TM antennas. Okay, copy that. AOS all antennas.
Rock safety. This is systems on TVNet.
CCOC. Go ahead, OC.
Rock
Range
safety.
reports all radars at
Rock
beacon
safety.
lock.
Do you see
Copy that. All radars on target.
any different telemetry on the drop circuit? Do I see anything different than you?
Well, no, I'm wondering if you see a new tone.
No, I do not see a new tone.
Okay, because we're seeing a new tone on our side. We're seeing the destruct
PCOC.
tone as being sent.
Go ahead, OC.
No, I
All
am not
optics,
seeing-
AOS.
You're not seeing that. Okay.
Roger that. I see great tracking
All
from
right.
here.
Thank you.
I'll say it's in a countdown. OC, we have launch, and at this time we have AOS on beacon, AOS on telemetry. We're checked through item 190.
ordnance? It looks good? Okay. All right, thank you, Rock Safety. That scared us a little bit. Copy.
Yeah. I think it's the. I think it's the. It's the X. They're the. Oh, in the upper right. It's the circle. It's the. No, the circle. The X is where the descent vector is.
So where is it? The X is where it is? Circle. That's going straight up. Well, the prediction was a loop-de-loop, then there's a loop-de-loop, and that goes to north east.
We're almost at 10,000 feet. Altitude lowering.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. So plus 6 minutes and we're at 8,500 feet. Yeah, we're going over. We're going over 1,000 feet per minute.
The one that's like right on the shoreline.
Our average is more than 1,000 feet per minute. Did anyone catch the actual launch time? That's long range cameras. I get those three. Hold on. Eric, you chill.
Yeah, Eric, do something over here because there's nothing on these screens useful.
Wow. What's our altitude?
9,500 feet.
There you go. That's beautiful. Yeah, get that over there. Nice work. Oh, that's wrong.
10,000 feet.
All stations here to talk. Be prepared for a status check here in about, I'll give it another minute or so. We need to do an assessment of the vehicle health following launch, so stand by for vehicle status check. BPO, this is TC on ProjectNet. Okay, let's go around the room and get the vehicle health following launch here. So instrumentation, how do things look to you?
Instrumentation is good. Everything is go.
Copy that. Ordnance.
Go. We're coming up on 15K feet, so we should see that switch soon. AGCs are coming up. Still a lot of pathing up and down, but everything looks okay there, especially on the DCC. But everything's good. We had that scare with the flag, but that was just a wrong indicator.
Okay, so you cleared that. Did you just reset your GUI? Is that what the solution was?
I killed the one that was bad, and then I went back to the UMBI one and switched the COM ports from the UMBI one to RF, and then it cleared it, and it was okay.
Okay.
So I can confirm that we're okay.
You've confirmed you're getting fresh data for that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks live. Everything is happy, and like I said, we're coming up on 15K feet real shortly here. So.
All right. So let's make a note of that. That's something I think worthy of.
It was pretty scary when we.
Yeah.
It could have been at UMBI poll, but I think it was when we.
BPO, I'm over on
there was
project safety.
perfect
They
data.
required
set
to be
that
there
flag.
for a few more
Copy
minutes.
that. We should just
Yeah,
those logs are
trying
time
to get
tagged,
data
right?
on the display,
Ordnance?
so go ahead.
So
and
we can go back to
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hey, thank you. GNC, anything?
Not seeing anything unusual.
Copy. Phase.
Ditto here. We didn't really have any of our systems on, so we're good.
Copy. Real time.
Everything's a go. One request, though, is when we have a few down minutes, can you ask the range if they can read out the locks for the radars and telemetry antennas, see if we cut down on some of that multipathing?
You were asking to see if they are in lock?
No, see if what their power levels are, signal to noise ratios on the radars and the telemetry antennas. They were reporting some multipathing when we were still in the tower. I just want to make sure that went away.
Copy that. Okay. Definitely. And trajectory, how are things looking for you?
Things are green. Flight.
Okay, and actual trajectory versus predicts, any word about that?
The last thing I saw was the trajectory going to the south, which was not predicted. So I'm waiting for the display to come back up to confirm that last visual.
Copy that. Okay, thermal?
Flight, everything looks
yes, sir. Can you give me stats
actually right down the middle
on the radar?
except for Glenmac, we are a little bit warm on that. That D-20 call is going to be questionable, but
Probably doesn't exist now. You're not looking down at it.
Copy that, thermal.
Thank you, sir.
Power?
Power is green. We had one reset of the serial. Battery health, we're still at 96% overall. MIP UHF-1 is responding about 5 seconds or so. MIP UHF-2 seems to be responding even faster.
Copy that. But you wouldn't change our commanding strategy at this point, would you?
No, I'd stick to primary UHF-1 at this point.
Copy that. Okay. DCOM?
DCOM looks pretty good. Nothing to report.
Copy that. Good solid telemetry.
Affirmative.
ECOC.
Okay, systems.
Good, OC.
Roger, radars report no
Everything's
signs of
looking good,
multipath
Mike.
at this time.
To go.
Very good.
Copy
Thank you.
that. Thank you.
DCOM off for 2.
DC BPO back on Project Net.
Copy that, BPO.
Flight ordnance.
Yeah. TC, can you meet me on
Going
TechNet,
in?
please?
First of 3 altitude switches have closed. Second one has just closed now. Looking good.
Copy that. Very good. Thank you.
Power C's altitude switch closure.
Waiting
Copy
for, got one more on ordnance B. There we go. All altitude switches closed.
Copy that. Excellent. Excellent.
They were all closed by 16:05.
I think we have the right prediction.
So at 11:40, we had a successful launch of LDSD, and it is up and aloft
Yes, sir. We can confirm
at
the test
about.
vehicle following launch. We did have a minor scare here with the off circuit. It did show a destruct signal, but it turned out to be a glitch in the telemetry in the GUI, and so once we cleared the GUI, that signal went away, so that is no longer a concern.
FSO, correction, RSO, OC on the countdown.
The commands on both it's 1 and
Yeah, go ahead.
and other.
Roger, sir.
The vehicle.
CO recommends that you consider releasing the tour boats.
Yeah, we're taking care of that right now.
All the
Thank you,
ordnance
sir.
is now can be armed as we reach drop time. Battery is currently at 95%, which represents about 15 drop attempts.
Copy that. So going back to the glitch in the GUI, I heard also some chatter about concerns about multipath. We ran that down with the range, and multipath has gone away.
Copy that. And we do have a request here from real time to anything about signal strength. Copy that. Okay. Did you need a? Sorry, TC. It looks like real time is satisfied with the announcement. So
Copy that.
Flight trajectory.
So, did you copy the
balloon trajectory now looks as predicted.
No, I did dig in.
So we're good to
Cal
go.
will come over and report it out to you. We have a healthy test vehicle as the top level highlight.
So that is
Copy.
good news. It sounds like we have a healthy test vehicle. It was launched at about 11:40. At 11:50, we got a status check, and things are indeed looking good. The range cameras have it zoomed in right there, and periodically you'll see it in infrared, and the infrared cameras can still track it as it gets up high behind the clouds. So, Dan, we're off to a good start, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an absolutely perfect launch of the balloon. As you could tell, it's kind of a complicated thing to get this balloon launched and to get the vehicle up in the air. And everything went just as we planned, so that's really great.
Something to remind folks about is this is a test, and this is something that the general public doesn't get to see very often. How do we land rovers on Mars? Well, we have to test the technology first, and this is kind of a behind-the-scenes look of the process that engineering goes through to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and one of the key things is to be able to bring these devices to the conditions that they will experience on Mars, and that's what's happening right here.
Flight phase.
Go phase.
Do you have an approximate release time? Just wondering what our L plus is.
I think they released, if I recall correctly, about 3 minutes early, so we're probably like launch plus 14 right now.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't know if they reset the clock.
Okay, system just advised me that they did update the clock, so that should be the correct L plus time.
Copy.
So, Dan, this is called a shakeout test. This is the first of 3 tests for these technologies, these decelerators. What is involved in the shakeout test?
Yeah, so our biggest focus here today is just making sure that the test itself works correctly. As you can tell already, this is a complicated test. Just getting the balloon off the ground is hard. We have to get up to the right altitude, drop the vehicle off the balloon, fire the rocket, and get up to speed. So what we're really focusing on today is making sure that all of those steps work correctly. Now, of course, we also have the SIAD, that inflatable donut that's on the vehicle, and we have the parachute, and we really want to test those as well. But we know that if something goes wrong with those, then we have more opportunities to test those in the subsequent test, the second and third one. So really the focus here today is making sure that the test itself works correctly.
That in mind, then, what constitutes a good day or a bad day today?
Yeah, so a good day for us is if the balloon launches successfully, we can check that box already. If we get up to the right altitude, if we drop off of the balloon successfully, spin up for stability, and fire our rocket, and then sort of blast off on that rocket in the right direction. To us, that's what's going to constitute a good day. Everything beyond that is really just a cherry on top.
Again, that's 11:51 local time for predicted float.
Light BPO, just make sure.
AC, this is TC on Project Net.
One local time on time to reach float.
TC, this is AC on Project Net. Yes, sir. I'll copy time to float, 11:51 local.
Copy that, 11:51 local time at float. Can we get an official launch time to an UTC?
Stand by.
So if I understand this correctly, suppose the inflatable Desaya, the inflatable donut, suppose that doesn't deploy. Suppose the parachute rips.
Go ahead, BPO.
Is it a failure? Is this a bad day?
No. Like I said, the real focus of the day is being able to get the test off successfully. If something goes wrong with the SIAD, that's okay. That's an opportunity for us to learn. And make sure that we can improve it for next time around. And that's really why we have to do these tests. It's a test because we don't really know what's going to happen, and so we have to do the test to find out. You can go onto YouTube and look up videos from early NASA launches from the late 1950s and the early 1960s, and you'll see that rocket after rocket after rocket exploded on the launch pad when they were trying to launch them. Every time that happened, the engineers working on those rockets looked at what they could learn, what they could make better for next time, and they got a little bit better and a little bit better. And it was through that step-by-step process that we went from blowing up rockets left and right in the late 50s to Neil Armstrong walking on the moon in 1969. Now, 50 years later, we're looking at sending bigger spacecraft and eventually humans to Mars. So we should expect the same kind of a step-by-step process to get there.
All stations here in the talk, so just a correction here. I don't know where the error crept in, but the predicted time to float is 10:51 local.
Flight, this is phase off net for 1.
Copy.
Flight real time off for 1.
Instrumentation off. 1.
EPO, this is AC. Were you trying to reach TC?
Affirmative.
He's off net right now. I'll go look for him.
TCOC.
OC, standby.
Yeah, MDOC. I just want to advise you that the roadblocks have been listed.
OC, thank you. OC, BPO, and to confirm the restricted area on site is listed as well. Is that correct?
Again, BPO.
Yes, the restriction in the area, in addition to the roadblocks for personnel placement, is listed as well. Is that correct?
Stand by. I think that's confirmed. Let me confirm. VPO, OC on project.
Go, OC.
Roger. GSO confirms in and around Red Label area restrictions have been lifted.
Thank you, sir.
And there you see the test
Flight
vehicle
off net for about 5.
on the
Copy that,
balloon on its way to float altitude, which is 120,000 feet. And we're hearing on the VOCA that they are beginning to release people on the ground.
Yeah, so that means that the balloon is now drifting over the ocean. It's not over the island anymore, so it's safe for people to drive on the roads and everything. We're not overhead.
So we're not quite certain exactly when that vehicle will reach the float altitude. It's 120,000 feet. We are told it could take several hours, and we are standing by to hear from the team when their best guesstimate is.
Is the pink line moving as it moves? The pink line's moving. It looks like the pink line's actually moving. Yeah. The thing is shifting. This is a real-time update. I think you see that gray dash line? That's the gray. I think that was the original prediction. The pink is the current. Dead reckoning it. Basically. I'm getting real data. So we pretty much skipped it a little bit, but not anything concerning.
Trajectory backup. This is Power on TVNet.
Go ahead.
You can turn off that monitor. We're no longer connected to that Humvee, so you don't have a seizure.
Thank you. Copy that.
I've been trying not to look at it directly.
PC BPO ascent looking good. All systems green.
So as we're waiting to reach float altitude, what is the team looking at right now, Dan?
Yeah, so really what they're looking at is they're monitoring the health of the vehicle. They're making sure that that all of our systems are still working. You've heard a couple of checks through the team a few minutes ago, and there were a couple of minor issues that they were monitoring, but it didn't sound like anything very serious. So they're keeping their eye on that. We're also looking at the trajectory. Right now we're on a balloon, so we're really being carried by the wind. We have a forecast for where the balloon is going to take us, but they're keeping an eye to make sure that we are where we're supposed to be in terms of where the balloon is floating.
And again, how long should it take us to reach that float altitude?
A couple of hours is sort of the latest that we're hearing. The latest word, and this is still kind of approximate, is that the time when the drop would occur, when the vehicle would drop off the balloon and the next phase of the test would start, is around 1:51 p.m. Pacific time. So that's a little bit less than 2 hours from right now. But that could change. It's going to depend on how quickly the balloon gets up to altitude and when the vehicle checkouts are done to make sure that we're all ready to go for the test.
And during that float, that several-hour period, the vehicle will leave the sights of our cameras, the ground cameras, even the infrared cameras, and at that time we will stop streaming and being on the air, but resume once cameras on the test vehicle turn on, and that'll be about 20 minutes before the dropped portion of the test will take place. So we will be off the air for a period of time, but if folks want to stay in touch and know when that time may be coming up, you should go to http://bit.ly/ and these are capital letters, NASA LDSD, NASA LDSD, and that would be to get the latest updates on this test.
BPO go on to Project Safety Net.
Copy that, BPO.
Go thermal.
It looks like I did just get one red alarm on the Star 48 AFT 7 channel. It's reading cold. Let me look into it and I'll get back to you.
Copy that. Do you know its location?
Yeah, it's on the Star 48 motor. It's on the aft end near the nozzle.
Near the nozzle? Copy that. Thermal, if you can just tell me what the temperature that you're seeing right now, what is the actual versus predict?
Actual right now is 5C. Let me check on the predict for it. I don't think we got close to 7 or 8C.
Check item 200.
Flight thermal.
Go thermal.
So both TCs on the aft end of the Star 48 motor are in cold limit right now. Aft 7 channels reading 3.9C, aft 8 reading 6.8.
Again.
Aft 7 channel is reading 4.1C, aft 8 is reading 6.5.
Copy that. And do you have a predict or an
BPO back
AFP?
to Project Net. Ascent good. Systems green. Balloon looks very healthy. Balloon ascending 40,000 feet. Ascent good. All systems green.
All right, so we've heard back from the team. The balloon looks healthy, but we did get a thermal alarm. Dan, can you explain?
Over on Anomaly Net and talk to Anomaly Chief as well. So
sure, we'll just listen to
when
this
you're,
feed right now and get an update.
Sure, Flight. I think I am now. Do you want me to move to Anomaly Net?
Yeah, can you just give me a quick briefing, though? You're saying 4.1 and 6.5, and what was the AFT low on those?
Currently, the AFT low is 7C per Carl Guernsey in Oregon. The predicts that we had were around 9C, but this could be a very localized effect. This is the aft end of the nozzle. It's out in the flow. It's exposed. The rest of the TCs, for example, that are embedded on the forward dome are reading closer to room temperature. They're up in the cavity. The next set of coldest TCs are on the mid portion of the Star 48 motor. So the temperature data makes sense. As we climb through the atmosphere here, it may start to trend back upwards as we get through the cold part of the troposphere. So I don't think this is a showstopper.
Copy that. Stand by 1 second, thermal.
So what we're hearing this conversation is really exactly the kind of things that the team is looking at on the vehicle right now. They're looking to see if everything looks healthy. They're looking at temperatures and making sure that things are normal. In this case, there was a temperature that was a little bit outside of the normal range, and so they're looking at what to do.
Yes, sir. Could I request that Anomaly Chief meet us over on Anomaly 1?
Yes, stand by. AC, did you copy?
AC copies. Going to Anomaly 1.
So Thermal, could you meet Anomaly Chief on Anomaly 1 and Thermal Systems as well? Can you meet over there?
Copy. I'm heading over there now, Flight.
Copy.
So a couple of minutes ago, we saw, I think, the first view that we had of a map showing actually where the vehicle is floating over the island. And oh, there it is again. And I actually misspoke a few minutes ago. I said that the balloon was over the water. It's actually not over the water yet. It's just over an uninhabited portion of the island. And so they were able to clear the roads and allow people to start driving through again. But you can see that that sort of magenta line is the path that the balloon is predicted to take. You can see that we're right on that line right now. And so we get up to a certain altitude, and actually the winds will shift. And so you see we sort of do a little bit of a left hook and then start going due west off the island and then out over the Pacific Ocean.
So to identify where the balloon is right now, it is that X that is about an inch away, say to the right of that circle on the magenta line.
It's actually the O.
Okay.
That's also on the magenta line. The X is looking at if something happened to the balloon, and we actually ended up falling down out of the sky where we would end up landing.
Ascent is good. Balloon system green.
So we are standing by. The vehicle is now out of view of the range cameras, and we are now looking at the infrared view, which is able to see the vehicle even through the clouds. And in not too much longer, we may be not able to even see that. These are the infrared cameras.
There's also, in addition to these infrared views, occasionally there's sort of a bonus view that comes through that's actually a view from the balloon looking down at the vehicle.
Give us an update on the altitude.
There it is right there. So we're looking at the top of the vehicle right now from the point of view of the balloon. And you can see the ground actually sort of around the outside of the vehicle below.
Trajectory looks nominal.
Copy that. Thank you.
There's sort of directions, a compass that's overlaid on top of that. And those shapes that you see moving are actually the shadow of the balloon hardware being cast because the sun is glaring onto it.
I may have missed it, but I'm going to go ahead and close out the logs, recycle everything.
Yeah, copy that. I was just about to go around the room and tell you to
Okay.
do that, but this is
Sorry.
a good time now to go ahead and bring it up. So yeah, all stations, let's go ahead and do our ascent actions in step 11.2.1. So that entails shutting down all RS-232 apps, stopping the JPL displays, and then restarting the RS-232 controller, restarting all 232 apps, and then restarting the JPL displays. And we'll do this periodically, maybe once an hour or so.
Ascent good. Balloon system's green.
Flight real time?
Go real time?
Recommend before everyone has a JPL display, before turning them back on, let me restart the server as well, just to clean up its archiving as well.
Copy that. I will advise you. I think it's just me and Thermal in the back row, right?
Yeah, correct. And I'll have the flight dynamics guys just turn them off, and I'll tell them when to turn back on.
Copy that.
So it sounds like the team is wrapping up this phase, the launch phase of this test. So you can see that the test vehicle is getting smaller and smaller and going out of view. And we will be wrapping up our coverage of this portion. It'll take several hours for the test vehicle and the balloon to reach the 120,000 feet, which is the float altitude that it needs to begin the test. And if you want to stay in touch and get the latest updates, there are two ways. There are several Twitter sites at NASA_technology, at NASA, at NASA JPL, and at NASA_Marshall. Those are the Twitter sites. Or you can also get updates at http://bit.ly/ and these letters are capital NASA, NASA LDSD, and they are case sensitive there. And Dan, why don't you wrap us up? We will be coming back, but what more can you tell us before we go?
So, like we said, the balloon launch was great. It's coming up to altitude. The team is looking at the health of the vehicle. They've noticed a couple things, but nothing doesn't look like anything too serious so far. And we have about 1.5 more hours until the nominal time when we would drop off the balloon and start the next phase of the test, where we fire the rocket, get up to speed, and then actually inflate the SIAD and deploy the parachute to test the performance of those items.
Okay, so we will be back in about an hour or so when the cameras should be firing up on the test vehicle, so stand by.
Done here.
RSO rock safety.
Okay, so ordnance, let's see, we're getting some recommendations here that you close your RS-232 app before we restart. Is that okay with you at this point?
Fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead and shut
Roger,
this down.
the Coca antenna is reaching its maximum elevation, so I'd like to switch to Omni at this time.
Go ahead. Switch to Omni.
And Faye, just want to confirm you're okay with the RS-232 restart here?
Yeah, we're all closed down.
Okay, very good.
Light rock safety.
Go rock safety.
Roger, our directional antenna is reaching its maximum elevation right now, so I'm going to switch over to Omni. You should see a slight drop in the AGCs.
Copy that. Can you stand by 1 second while we restart our telemetry?
Standing by.
Go ahead, DCOM, go ahead and restart RS-232.
DCOM has restarted RS-232. You guys can open your apps again.
Copy that. Ordnance, could you go ahead and restart your RS-232?
Systems are green.
DCCRF DCOM is up, and I am recording.
Copy that. Okay, so you're okay if they switch antenna at this point?
Affirmative.
Okay, copy that. Rock safety, this is flight. We're ready for the switchover when you're ready.
Copy. Switching over on my mark. On Omni.
Confirm.
And Ordnance, what was the effect of that on the signal strength?
We lost about 0.4 of a volt, 0.3 of a volt, so not too much. It's a little bit noisier now, I would say. Looks fine.
Copy that. And Faye, just be advised that we've restarted the RS-232 apps. I don't know if you've already restarted your displays yet. But
no, I didn't.
You can do that at this point at your convenience.
Copy. So, flight ordnance?
Ordnance.
So, that was the status on the DCC. The test vehicle one seemed to smooth out a little bit more, but now I'm still getting some pretty bad nulls in the test vehicle one. So, I think if we didn't switch that lead X, my blood pressure would be pretty high. So I think we did the right move there.
Balloon ascent good. Balloon systems green.
DC copies, BPO.
Yeah, TC, this BPO, you can see it's making the turn here, so it's going to keep going that way.
BPOs and TC on Project Net.
Go TC.
Yeah, do they have the tracking videos up on the wall for you there in the blockhouse?
Are you talking about the down looking?
No, sir, the actual tracking optics over there in the room next to you.
No, all we're getting in ours is the down looking in the global mapper.
Okay, copy that. Real time, this is TC on Project Net. TC, this is real time on Project. Can you meet me over on TechNet? Copy.
Balloon ascent is good, behaving normal as it approaches going through the trope. Systems green. ascent good. Balloon systems green.
Flight phase.
Go phase.
Just consulted with the ROC on estimated drop and how many attempts we have and whatnot. He's saying that duck simulation is showing we might reach float 6-7 minutes earlier than Danny's prediction. The ascent rate's pretty good, and if they can move things ahead in time a little bit, they're going to by 5 or 6 minutes to possibly let us squeeze in. We might almost be able to shoehorn in a long hold if needed.
Copy that. Have they estimated a time for drop or?
No, there's no updated drop time yet. Everything's still per the original clock.
Copy that. Thank you.
Yeah, flight, the first update will be at 80,000 feet.
Copy that. And our current altitude is?
Current altitude is about 56,000.
Copy that. Thank you. So let's see. So I want to confirm that everyone has good telemetry and has restarted telemetry following that reset of RS-332, including thermal here. But did thermal restart systems?
He's getting good data still without the restart.
Okay, copy that. So just want to go around the room and confirm everyone has good data. So instrumentation, how does your data look?
Good. Balloon
Everything looks good.
Okay, ordnance?
Right down the middle.
Okay, GNC?
We are still off.
Say again?
There's nothing to look at here.
Copy that. All right. And phase?
Yeah, I'm seeing. I do have the GNC acromatics display going, and I see the counter counting, so that's good indication.
Copy that. Okay, real time?
Yeah, good data. Not much to look at.
All right, trajectory?
Good data.
Okay, and thermal's off investigating this few degrees too cold on the Star 48 that we're investigating. Doesn't initially look like a problem, but we're going to take a look at that. Power, how are things looking to you?
Data flow is good. We're currently at 93% on the battery packs.
Copy that. And have you issued any more link tests?
I have, and looks like UHF-2 is still about 3 or 4 seconds, and UHF-1 is approximately about 5 to 10 seconds.
Copy that. Okay, very good. Ecom, anything to report? Everything look good to you?
Everything looks good. Nominal.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Ascent good. Balloon systems green. Balloon ascent good. Balloon systems green. ascent good. Balloon system's green. As the balloon ascends through 60,000 feet, ascent is good, and balloon systems are green.
All stations in the countdown, the balloon has reached approximately 60,000 feet. Balloon and test vehicle status is still green.
Balloon ascent is good. Balloon systems are green. Balloon trajectory is about to take it off the coast. Heading 282.
All stations in the talk, we are feet wet over the ocean. We've just crossed the shoreline.
All stations in the countdown, the LDSD test vehicle and balloon are presently over water.
Trajectory, this is AMD. Can you meet me on a TechNet?
Switching to TechNet.
TCBPL.
NC off net for 2.
TC, BPL.
Copy.
Go ahead, BPL.
Yeah, TC. Everything's looking very healthy. And conducting some balance drops coordinated with FSO. Ascent rates looking good. Wind systems are green. like to come off comms for about 5 to 8 minutes.
Okay, copy that.
Flight, this is Thermal.
Go ahead, Thermal.
I just want to report out with the discussions I had with Carl and the anomaly chief, just to keep the team in the loop here.
Very good. At your earliest convenience.
Okay, so we're still seeing those cold temperature limits on the aft end of the nozzle. They are, however, starting to warm up based on my last transmission to you guys. It does look like we've definitely started to pass through that cold part of the troposphere, so that's promising. They're currently reading 3.5 and 3.3. They had gotten as low as about 0C before, so we're going in the right direction. That's nice to know. Talking with Carl, he was concerned originally with the safe and arm device, but we reviewed the qual limit for that, and it looks like minus 60 Fahrenheit was the real limit, so they have been operated much colder than this. We discussed the reason why we might have had a discrepancy with the predicts and actuals in this particular area is the way the thermal modeling was done. The thermal modeling, we didn't have a lot of the details of the interior design of the Star 48, so we made an assumption that the casing was in intimate contact with the propellant, but there's an insulation layer in there that would probably let the casing temperature fall a lot lower than the predicts. Having said that, we reviewed it with the anomaly chief. He felt that the risk was low in this area, and the fact that the temperatures are starting to trend upward seems like there's nothing else we can do other than to report it to you, and then you can report it out to the mission director.
Copy that. And just want to confirm, no action necessary?
There's no action at this time advised by the anomaly chief or myself.
Copy that. Thank you, Thermal.
Real-time offer 5.
Copy real-time. TC Flight.
Go ahead, Flight.
Yes, sir. I have a report out of the thermal concern on the Star 48 if you're ready to copy.
Stand by. Let me get the mission director on the line as well. MD, this is TC on Project Net.
TC, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Flight director has a out brief for the anomaly they were tracking.
Please proceed.
Go ahead, Flight.
Okay, so the anomaly was that we had an unexpectedly low temperature on the Star 48 aft end near the nozzle. It appears to have turned a corner and is warming back up again. It did go as low as 0 degrees C. The AFT is 9 degrees, I believe. And so it was a little bit colder, quite a bit colder than expected. The only concern there was the safe and arm device, but they did some investigation and have determined that it is designed to operate far colder than that, so that's no longer a concern. We believe that the issue is the modeling of the nozzle, the way it is in contact, or actually not in contact with the propellant. So it's probably a modeling issue. And the bottom line is that there's no action necessary, no concern. It is something that should be noted as lower than expected, but should not pose a threat to the mission.
Copy that.
TC copies as well. MD, any direction or any further actions from you, sir?
Negative.
What we'd like you to do is we've noted the exception, and for further statusing, go ahead and report green, the previously noted exception. I'll copy Flight.
Flight copies.
Flight trajectory.
Go trajectory.
The vehicle's passed minimum altitude for drop.
Copy that. Thank you.
Trajectory, this is AC on the TV net. Do you copy?
Yes, sir.
Can I meet you in anomaly 1 for a minute?
Switching to anomaly 1.
Flight ordnance.
Ordnance.
I was wondering if you could inquire to Rock Safety if he's considering going back to directional at some point.
Rock Safety, did you copy that question? The question, just in case you didn't get that, was what's the plan about going back to the directional antenna for the tone receivers? Rock Safety, this is Flight on TV Net. Are you on net?
It's Rock Safety.
Yes, sir. The question was, did you plan to go back to the directional antenna at some point?
Yes, we will, as soon as you're far enough downrange. We're not there yet. I would say within 5 minutes, maybe.
Copy that. Just out of curiosity, what's your maximum elevation angle?
It's 47 degrees, apparently.
Copy that. Thank you.
BPO back on Project Net.
Station to countdown, check item 197. Also check item 196.
Balloon SN is nominal, balloon system's green.
And also we had a check on 200 earlier. The roadblock has been lifted and the red label area has been cleared for normal operations.
MD, this is Flight on TVNet.
Flight systems, Alpha 5.
Copy.
RSO rocks.
And flight phase Alpha 5.
Copy.
NC Alpha 5.
Copy.
AC, this is TC on Project Net.
AC copy.
Can you meet me over on TechNet, please?
Copy.
MD, this is Flight on TVNet.
Flight rock safety.
Go ahead.
Flight, this is MD on TVNet. If there's discussion, we can go to the TV engineering net.
Copy. Let me meet you there in about 1 minute.
Copy that.
Yeah, this is rock safety. We're clear to go back to directional.
Let's see. Standby 1, and I'm getting the thumbs up from Ordnance, so at your earliest convenience.
Copy, switching. Mark.
Ordnance Flight, how did that switch look to you?
Yeah, it looks so much cleaner on directional. We gain about 10 dB on the test vehicle, and we got that half a volt back on the DCC, and we're pretty much saturated on DCC, so it looks,
DC, this is AC on Project
great.
Copy that, thank you.
Go ahead, AC.
Rock safety,
right now it's looking, we're pretty close to our original estimated drop time. I think right now we want to cut it even and call it 21:00 UTC is our best guess for our drop time right now.
Okay, copy that. Thank you. Real time, this is TC on Project Net. Go TC. Hey, can you meet me on TechNet?
Copy.
DC Flight, request at your earliest convenience.
Flight standby for 1. I'll get back to you in a second.
Flight Ordnance Alpha 3.
DC BPO on TechNet.
BPO, go ahead. Okay, copy that. Flight, this is TC on Project Net.
Yeah, it's just if there's a quiet period, I'd like to make a quick fun announcement.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, so yeah, all stations just kind of keeping in tradition our time-honored tradition on Mars programs of playing a song of the day every time the rover wakes up. I'd like to play a LDSD song of the day. This can be heard on Anomaly 2. Once again, if you want to hear the LDSD song of the day, switch over to Anomaly 2.
Copy that, Flight. If you'd like to hear the song of the day for LDSD, please go to Anomaly 2.
Eco off for 3.
VPO going to Project Safety Net.
Copy that, VPO.
Right trajectory off net for 1.
Copy.
Right trajectory back on net.
Copy. TC flight off net for about 1.
Copy that flight. OC, MD, this is TC on ProjectNet.
MD, go ahead.
OC, go ahead. Yes, sir. Can I get both of you to meet me over on TechNet? Copy, TechNet.
Copy.
Phase, this is AC and TV net. Do you copy?
BPO back on ProjectNet.
Okay, all stations in the talk. Let's start getting prepared for drop here. So one of the things we want to do here is another restart of our RS-232 apps. So let's go ahead and do a shutdown of that. And see, real time, you want to do that same procedure you did before, and have a shutdown, and you want to reset the servers. Real time, this is Flight. Are you on net?
Yes, Flight, this is real time. I was just listening to another conversation.
Okay, copy that. We want to restart the RS-232 processes and JPL displays. So would you recommend the same procedure we did before?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, we can do that. Just shut down them, and I'll restart the server and bring it back up.
Copy that. Okay, we'll do. All right, so all stations, let's go ahead and restart your displays.
Go AC. Okay, we'll work that up.
So Ordnance Flight, I've been advised that the main thing we need to do is shut down your displays before we restart the RS-232 apps, and keep it down while the RS-232 is being recycled.
So are you ready for me to bring that down, Flight?
Stand by. Let me just check with Thermal. Thermal, are you okay to go ahead and recycle the JPL display server?
Flight, I prefer to keep mine up because I'm trending things right now. Is that really going to be a problem? This has been a short mission.
Yeah, you run the risk of not having it cycled, but
Flight at real time?
Yeah, I think you can keep your data flowing. It'll just be a small outage on your side. We already did it once.
Okay, I prefer to keep the trends up for the last half hour.
Okay, so let's see. Trajectory, are you okay if we recycle the JPL display server?
I just talked to Trajectory, and he cannot bring down his display either. I mean, at this point, recycling displays is more important than recycling the server. We've seen the displays freeze up more often than the server ever freezing up.
Copy that. So you're going to not recycle the server? Is that your intent?
That's my recommendation.
Okay, copy that. That's we'll go with that. Thank you.
Obsolete, this is TC on ProjectNet.
So, Ordnance, go ahead and please advise when you have brought down your displays.
All right, you ready for me to bring it down now?
Yes, we are.
And work.
TC? This is Opley. Did you want Project Net?
Yeah, can you go ahead and meet me on
Flight
TechNet?
ordnance displays off.
Flight phase, we shut down our acromatics as well.
Copy that.
RS-232 app is restarted. You can start your displays again.
So decom ordnance, I'm ready to. That means I can bring mine back up. It'll work.
Okay, all stations, let's
Copy that,
just
VPO.
go around, just make sure everybody has good
Yeah,
telemetry
I've got
before
an
I ask
update
for
on
permission
the,
for drop, power up for drop instrumentation.
Time to reach floats.
Everything looks good.
Okay, ordnance.
Give me 2 minutes.
Go
Come
ahead,
back.
BPO.
Yeah,
Copy.
it's not much different.
GNC.
Nothing unusual.
Okay, phase.
2055 Zulu.
Okay, copy
So I
that.
copied
The
1055.
trajectory flight here, do you have good
Affirmative.
displays at this point?
Go.
Okay, thermal.
Flight, two things. Just want to report that the red
Thank you,
alarm
VPO.
is teetering between red alarm and clear for those two sensors.
Copy
So
that.
we're back up to 7C, so that's good. We've been out of limits for about 45 minutes, and
Copy
we
that.
only got as low as 0.8C.
Anomaly Chief, did you copy that?
Second thing is,
time to float?
do we know if the rotator's been engaged at this point? I'd like to hear that call out from Flight Director.
Copy that. I was not advised of that yet. Let me check on that.
I think AC went.
Right, we're at 81,000 feet.
Okay,
The
copy.
plan was at 80 kilofeet, so we'd like to know.
Understood. Copy that. Let's see. Power, everything looks good
TCOC.
with your display?
Data
Go ahead,
flow
OC.
3.
Right, I didn't copy all
Okay,
the
decom, everything look good with that last cycle?
communication. What did he say
Okay,
about
very
time
good.
of float?
Okay, ordnance,
Yes,
everything
sir.
look good to you?
Yeah, I'm
Time
good
and
to go.
float, it's changed slightly, but only slightly.
Light power.
So it is now
Go ahead.
You gotta step off for
10:55 local.
That's okay.
Copy.
Go ahead.
I'll station a countdown. Got an update on 207. The new anticipated time for the balloon to reach float altitude would be 10:55 local time. I have to check on item 207.
Trajectory, this is flight.
Flight trajectory back up.
Yes, do we have the rotator engaged at this point?
Stand by.
TCOC.
Go ahead, OC.
Has there been any change in anticipated drop time? Are we still 21 colon?
They're talking about that now.
Flight trajectory back up.
They're proposing a
Go ahead.
new
The
drop
rotator
time.
is engaged.
Copy that, thank you.
Shifted 5
see,
minutes.
did you copy that,
to
thermal?
21:05.
Thermal copies.
Is that official?
Negative. It's still
Stand
being
by.
negotiated.
Flight real time.
Go ahead, real time.
What's the new drop time?
Stand by, they're still negotiating that.
Copy.
Power back on that.
TC flight.
Go ahead, Flight.
Yes, sir. If the drop time is still at 2100, I'd like to request permission to power up the vehicle for drop. Has that changed at this point?
It's still in negotiation. If we're talking about minutes, I don't know how that's going to impact your thermal models if we're talking about a few minutes. Would you like to go ahead and still start that process?
Affirmative. I'd like to go ahead and start that, and we can hold off on the high-power devices as on our end.
Okay, so stand by. So we're moving ahead to step 105 in the TC's checklist. OC, this is TC on the project net.
Go ahead, TC.
Yes, sir. Can report status, red or green, or exceptions and ability to support EV final power up?
Range is green. Ready to support.
Okay, if green, request direct coordination between flight and rock safety for UHF commanding. That'll be on TVNet.
OC copy. Rock safety, OC.
Check step 107.
Rock safety. Roger, did you copy last transmission reference transition into TVNet?
MD, this is TC on ProjectNet.
Copied.
TC, this is MD. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Request permission to begin TV final power-up.
TC, this is MD. Please proceed with TV power up.
Copy that. Check step 108. Flight, this is TC on ProjectNet.
Go ahead, TC.
Yes, sir. You are authorized for TV final power-up.
Understood. Permission granted for power up. Do we have a new drop time?
Negative.
Copy that. We'll stand by.
BPO, this is TC on ProjectNet.
You can go, TC.
Yes, sir. Can you report the status of the rotator? Has it been activated?
Yes, TC. It's been activated, coordinated with FSO. We set it 50 degrees. Down to 50, in process of stabilizing. It's almost there, and everything's looking very good.
Copy that. Check step 99.
Station countdown, check item 204. Balloon rotator is on. Initial azimuth setting is 50 degrees.
Check step 101.
Load asset good. Load system green.
TC, this is AC on the project net.
Go ahead, AC.
I'd like to report the new drop time.
Go ahead, AC.
The drop time is 21:05 UTC. It's a 21:05 UTC.
Copy that.
DCBPO.
And the estimated balloon location at that time, do you have that as well?
Yes, I do. Hold on. It is, for my last check, it was latitude 22.193. Did you copy that?
Say again.
AC, this is TC. Sorry, this is 22.193. You copy that?
I have 22.193 for latitude.
Copy that. And latitude negative 160.7207.
So longitude was negative 160 in the last three again?
Again, it was negative 160.7207.
So for longitude, I have negative 160.7207.
Copy that.
Okay, all stations, just be advised, in about 4 minutes, we will be powering up the vehicle for drop.
We have a new azimuth pointing of 54.54 degrees.
54 degrees, copy that. Is that true?
True.
54 true, copy. OC, this is TC on ProjectNet.
Go ahead, TC.
Yes, sir. Did you copy the D0 time and the drop location?
Yes, I did. Thank you, sir. And has that new azimuth been coordinated?
That was coordinated with the FSO. Is that correct, AC?
TC is AC. Yes, that is correct. That was coordinated with FSO.
Thank you, sir.
Check step 103.
All station to countdown. OC. We got a check on item 210. At this time, the updated float time will be 10:55 local time, with an anticipated time of drop 21:05 Zulu. Predicted geographic drop point will be 22.193. Latitude, longitude, negative 160.7207. Also, we have an updated azimuth pointing for the drop. The new azimuth pointing is 540 degrees true. Check item 211, 212.
OC, this is TC on the ProjectNet.
Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, you guys will go ahead and update the drop clock.
Update the drop clock according to the 21:05.
Yes, sir.
Copy. Stand by.
Flight phase.
Go ahead, phase.
Just coordinated with Rock. We will have possibly enough time for a short hold, but that's it. No more.
Understood. Time only for short hold. Okay, all stations, we are coming up on vehicle power up in 2 minutes.
Flight real time?
Balloon descending.
Go ahead, real time.
1,000 feet out of
Are they updating the drop clock?
Good.
Drop clock currently isn't synced yet.
Yeah, they don't start rolling that until, yeah, they're minus 35.
OC, this is TC on ProjectNet.
TCOC.
OCFSO.
Go ahead.
Request drop clock update on all drop clocks around the basis mission. Reporting D-minus 40 in 32 seconds and counting.
Okay, power. Let's go ahead and queue and hold our first power-up command. Queue and hold power on sensor bus.
Copy. Standing by for sensor bus power on.
Confirm. Clear to command.
Powering on sensor bus. Mark.
And at this time, go ahead and queue and hold the stop record.
All
for
stations is a
Chapter
TC
10.
on the project net. Please stand by for an update of the drop clock.
Standing by for data recorder stop.
Confirm. Clear to command.
Data recorder stop. Mark. Command received.
Copy that, and go ahead and queue and hold the power on for Chapter 10.
Copy that. Data recorder power on. Standing by.
Confirm. Clear to command.
Powering on data recorder. Mark.
And Faith, can you report on GPS status?
We have time lock. Don't have satellites yet, but that's too soon. We just we're pulling in 4. Expect that to increase now. We're up to 8 satellites.
Copy that. And DCOM, can you confirm IRIG lock?
Chapter 10 is IRIG lock, and we are not recording.
And ascent remains good.
Copy. I missed your last sentence. What?
We're not recording.
Not recording. Copy that. Okay, so at this point, you're ready to record, though, right?
Affirmative.
Copy that. All right, so power, go ahead and queue and hold the record on Chapter 10.
Copy that. Standing by for data recorder start.
Confirm. Clear to command.
Data recorder start. Mark. Command received.
Copy that. And Faith, can you comment on number of satellites?
We got 8.
Copy that. TC flight?
Go ahead, flight.
Yes, sir. Just like to be advised that we have a good GPS lock, and GPS data is now available with 8 satellites.
Okay, copy that. Check step 110. OC, this is TC on the project net.
And systems, can you confirm Block 1 success?
Everything looks good so far, flight.
Copy that. And instrumentation, how are things looking for you?
Everything looks good. I'm reading 0.3 PSI. I'm trying to correlate to see if that looks within the ballpark of this altitude, but everything else
OC,
looks
this is TC on the project net.
Copy.
Good, TC. Yes, sir. You now have test vehicle GPS data. Check step 111.
flight instrumentation.
Go instrumentation.
Excited pressure transistors, the reading looks good for this
Copy
altitude.
that. Very good, thank you. TC flight.
Go ahead, flight.
Just be advised that TV onboard video will be coming up shortly.
Okay, copy that. Check step 113. OC, did you copy the status of the onboard TV video?
No, I didn't. Say again, sir.
Yes, sir. It's going to be up momentarily.
Copy. Onboard TV onboard video coming up.
Copy that. Check step 114.
ACOC.
Go ahead, OC.
Roger, range reports good TM on TV.
That's the GPS data?
That's GPS data.
Copy that. Flight, this is TC on Project Net.
Go ahead, TC.
Yes, sir. The range is reporting good GPS data from the
Very
TV.
good, thank you. And
Check step 112.
Copy that, thank you.
This balloon ascends through 95,000 feet. Balloon ascent rate is good. Balloon system's green.
Trajectory, this is AMD. Can you meet me on the TechNet?
And power at this time, go ahead and cue and hold the turn on for SID bus.
Copy. Standing by for SID power on.
And confirm, clear to command.
Powering on SID bus. Mark.
Trajectory, this is AMD.
Command received.
Copy that. At this time, go ahead and cue and hold power on for video transmitter.
Standing by for video transmitter bus.
OC, with it on countdown.
Confirm,
Trajectory,
clear to
are you
command.
there?
Copy. Powering on video transmitter bus. Mark.
Good with it. Yes. Verifying green range for Met Rocket 1. Stand by. RSO OC.
Bus looks nominal.
Copy that. Go ahead and cue and hold.
OC,
DVS camera
FSO,
head
RSO is on different net.
Roger. Need to get confirmation on the green range for Met Rocket launch.
Yeah, can you also have RESCO start the clock?
We have green range.
Copy. Yeah, where's your copies?
Go ahead, real time.
Never mind.
The drop clock
started
should
and
read
we just started
34
it, so I'm
minutes
not
and
late.
counting. In 3, 2, 1.
Copy.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Flight power.
Flight BPO is the TC
Standing
on
by
Project
for
Net.
DVR camera head bus.
Confirm, clear to command.
BPO here.
Copy.
Yes,
Powering
sir. Can
on
you
DVR
verify you have a
camera
good
head.
rolling clock and a
Mark.
blackout?
Confirm 33, 48, 47, 46.
Flight
Command
confirms the
received.
same.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I'll say so the countdown
Check
update
step
on the
104.
integrated count. We've gone through step 240. At this time, we're in the final phases of test vehicle power up.
OC, this is TC
All
on
stations
Project
check
Net.
step 14.4.7.
Go ahead, TC.
So
Yes, sir, just closing out
instrumentation,
the
please
paperwork.
advise me you're ready to
Can you
turn
provide
on
the status of the
the
spotter plane?
DVR bus.
We're ready now.
Say again?
30 seconds.
Status
Copy
of
that.
the
Okay,
spotter
so
plane.
go ahead and power. Go ahead, cue and hold DVR 1.
Be
turn
advised, the spotted plane
Copy.
is actually
Standing
the
by for DVR 1.
surveillance plane.
Confirm, clear to command.
And stand
Powering
by.
up DVR 1. Mark. Command received. Bus looks nominal.
Systems verified.
Copy that. Power, go ahead and cue and hold DVR2 turn on.
Standing by for DVR 2.
Confirm, clear to command.
DVR 2 power on. Mark.
TCOC. Be advised, C-26s were airborne approximately 10.
Copy that. Power, go ahead and cue
1000
and hold
hours.
DVR3 turn on.
Initial
Copy that. Standing by for
role
DVR 2.
was to
Confirm,
go and
clear
survey
DVR 3
the
power on.
anticipated drop
Mark.
zone, which they have completed.
Okay, copy that.
Command received. Bus looks
Assuming
nominal.
after drop, they'll transition to their spotter role.
Copy that. And power,
I-
at this time, immediate
I
action
need to confirm that with
command. Go
REPCO.
ahead,
We
turn
made
on
a
recording for
change
SID 1,
flight
3.
safety on the roll
Copy
of
that.
C-26. Initial support was to
Bring on
conduct the
SID
drop
camera 1.
clearance,
Mark.
and from there, I believe the standby role will be to observe the balloon
Command received.
balloon drop.
Turning on SITVID camera 2.
And we have
Mark,
good
copy
video
that.
on SIDVID 1. It is pretty clear. TCOC, S-band video is up.
Command received.
Copy that. Check step 115.
Powering up SITVID camera 3.
SIDVID 2 video up.
Sir, at your convenience, please report the...
Wow, beautiful
Signal
imagery on the SITVIDs.
Stand by.
Flight instrumentation.
Go instrumentation.
All core DVRs booted up in the
SIDVID
expected
3
time.
video up.
Copy that, and I confirm that they are waiting for triggering, not recording, so very good. And systems, can you confirm successful block 2?
Yeah, all voltages are looking good, and as we can tell, we got 1 through 3 successfully powered up. So we're good flight.
Copy, thank you, sir. And power, just want to confirm that you show EPSU still mated.
That's Affirmative. We have
All
negative
stations on
drop
countdown
separation.
inside 30 seconds.
Copy that. Okay, all stations, we are here at step 14.6.2, about to command EPSU to drop arm mode. So, power, go ahead and cue and hold EPSU to drop arm.
Copy. Excellent correlation between...
Go need the signal. Standing by for drop arm.
Go ahead, OC.
Confirm, clear to command.
Rocket in 10, 9,
Setting to
8,
drop arm state.
7,
Mark.
6, 4,
Excellent
3,
correlation between
2, 1.
two pointing using the
That rocket away.
yes and the sun sensors.
Drop arm state received.
Copy that, thank you. And power, let's go ahead and cue and hold power on for Ordnance Bus Alpha.
Copy. Standing by for Ordnance Alpha.
Stand by, Ordnance. So you go for power up on the Ordnance buses?
Go.
Okay, you're clear to command.
Ordnance Alpha, power on in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Capacitor's charging.
Copy that.
Looking good, flight.
Very good.
Command received.
And let's see, Ordnance, can you confirm MFTs are not running?
They are in self-test. MFTs look good.
Very good. And power, let's go ahead and cue and hold Ordnance Bravo.
Copy. Standing by for Ordnance Bravo.
Confirm, clear to command.
Powering on Ordnance Bravo in 3, 2, 1, mark.
B-bus is charging, looking good.
And systems, can you confirm success of Block 3?
It looks good, flight.
Copy, thank you, sir.
Flight phase.
Go ahead, Faith.
Confirmation from ROC is one short hold and one short hold only.
Understood. One short hold available and one short hold only. And Thermal Flight, just wanted to get your assessment on GlenMac and what can you give us in terms of early turn-on?
Sure, Flight. So per our agreement, I was hoping that the casing temperatures would be below 20 C, but they're currently at 23, 24. I'll just lay it out for you and you can decide the risk. The risk could be minimal in my opinion. I tried to size this for a maximum of 70-minute power on for GlenMac, and that assumes that you call that short hold with like D-minus 1 minute to go. So in that event, we would survive the optical RX being below 61
single
C.
strength reading on
If you think that risk is minimal, we can go ahead and turn on at D-minus 20, and we would be close or exceeding the 61C if you call it D-minus 1.
I copy 47 and 43. Roger.
Does that make sense?
Copy that. Let's see.
So my recommendation for the plan would be to hold the D-minus 15, but if you want to balance risk, it's your prerogative.
And if you're just joining us, you're watching live coverage of the first experimental flight test of NASA's Low-Density Supersonic Decelerator, or LDSD. It's a saucer-shaped vehicle that will be used to test interplanetary landing devices. And this is the first of 3 engineering tests, and it's taking place at the Pacific Missile Range facility in Kauai, Hawaii. Right now, LDSD team member Dan Koda is with me. I'm Gay Yee Hill, and we are monitoring the test from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which built this test vehicle. And Dan, let's get people up to speed. This vehicle launched at about 11:40 Pacific time. It's ascending to 120,000 feet, which is the float altitude. And fill us in.
Yeah, so it's just about 2 hours ago exactly that the balloon launched. It was a beautiful launch. Everything went great. And we can see now in this map view that we have that the balloon is floating out over the ocean to the west of Kauai, and it's getting closer and closer to the point where we're expecting to start the test. Looks like we're about 25 minutes away from the actual time of the test, where they're going to drop the vehicle and commence the testing.
Test vehicle recovery vessel. Slight change in the position, not very much at all.
We'll leave it at
but it has been set.
15. And
Thank you so much for confirmation.
system, just want to confirm by your accounting that's at 10:50. Is that correct?
Correct. I show block 4 at 10:50.
Very good. Thank you.
Right, this is Thermal. I copy, and I think that's the right call. We will definitely not exceed the 61C on the optical RX if you follow the D-minus 15.
Copy that. Thank you.
All stations to countdown OC, stand by for final station check. Starting off with Repco.
All stations here at the top, we're holding short of step 14.8.1, which is the Glenmac turn-on. We're going to stay
ME
to 10:50 local time.
Wizard, go.
So that's still about
FSO.
9.5 minutes away, and that will be the IMU Glenmac turn-on.
AFSO.
Flight, this is Go.
Block safety.
In this little bit of downtime, I thought it would be important to call out for the rest of the public is aware that all the 48 motor sensor limits
At
are
this
now
time, all
within limits.
stations report
We are not
status by
holding
exception only
on
down to
any of those temperature
D0.
semesters. The spin motors are also meeting their gradient requirements. I know some people were concerned about that, so there's no issue there. They look good. And the last thing that is probably important is that the PDD heat up looks like it was successful, and the inflation age should be well above 40 C.
Check out him 227.
So everything's looking good.
Check out him 228.
Copy that, Thermal. That is excellent news.
Also go ahead and check 229. Drop clock has been picked up. At this time, we're inside D-minus 24.
Real-time off for 1.
Copy real-time.
Dan, listening to the team in Hawaii, it sounds like things are going fine, but there were a couple of nervous moments earlier on. Can you explain?
Yeah, so it's important to remember that this is a test, and so unexpected things are probably going to happen. And there are a few things that came up. There was a temperature issue that we heard about where that big rocket motor was a little bit cooler than we had expected based on the models that we had developed before the test. They took a look and found out that really wasn't really too bad of an issue, so we just went with it. So there's a few little things that have come up, nothing really serious, and the important thing is that everything is still go for the test here in about a little bit more than 20 minutes.
Temperature difference of the GoPro, especially GoPro 4, right now versus when it's in the high bay. Is it colder now?
Yeah, absolutely. We're colder now. The GoPro on the top deck is slightly warmer than the one on the camera mast, which makes sense. That's out in the breeze. There's about a 10 feet difference between those two. Those are the only two that I have temperatures for.
Okay, and what's the temperature on the deck camera?
The one on the deck camera is reading 5C. The one on the mast is reading minus 5C.
Okay, so that's approximately 20 degrees cooler than we've seen in the high bay?
Yeah, that's about right. About 25C cooler. So, but well within limits. The cold side is minus 35C, and we've demonstrated that turn on repeatedly.
Copy that.
So we've just heard the team talking about some of the onboard cameras.
PI, this is PC on ProjectNet.
This is real time.
You did this PI on ProjectNet.
Yeah, go ahead, both of you meet me over on TechNet.
And there are several cameras on board the test vehicle, and you see right there, 4 of them will be fired up. 3 are up right now, and this will allow the team to see certain deployments. And I'm going to let Dan explain.
Yeah, so we see sort of a quad view here, and these are remote cameras that are located on the test vehicle, and these are being fed live back from the vehicle right now, and we'll continue to see this feed throughout the test. So what these 4 cameras are looking at is the upper 2 cameras are sort of looking at the SIAD, the inflatable, the inflatable donut that goes around the vehicle. On the lower right, it looks like the camera is actually not working at the moment. We're hoping it will come back up, but that is looking at it's looking backward away from the vehicle at where the parachute is going to be after it deploys. And then on the lower left, I'm not sure if there's a problem with that camera as well, but I believe that's supposed to be looking at the rocket motor that's gonna blast the vehicle off. So we'll see if that view changes over time.
Received the TSP update?
Yes, sir. We have been receiving confirmations.
Thank you.
And Dan, can you explain the ellipse on this map? What we're seeing, is this the possible landing areas?
Yeah, so the main reason for the shape, the sort of weird shape that we see here, is for safety. So in case something goes wrong with our rocket motors as they're burning, we need to know where we could possibly land in the ocean to make sure that it's safe. So that's what you see, this sort of strange lobed shape. That's what that is. Where we expect to actually land is the sort of more regular-looking ellipse that you see to the north and a little bit to the east of the test vehicle, which is the circle which you see on the map.
We've been given an estimated time of about 5 minutes past the hour. It'll be about 2:05 here on the Pacific Coast and 11:05 in Hawaii, and we are standing by.
Power ordnance.
Go ordnance.
Can I get a current?
Affirmative. Ordnance Alpha is reading 0.84 amps. Ordnance Bravo is reading 0.83 amps.
Copy.
Hold and steady.
RD and trajectory, could you meet me on TechNet? This is AMD.
Okay, Power, let's go ahead and cue and hold the Glen Mac turn on.
Copy that. Standing by for Glen Mac power on.
Okay, confirm, stand by. Power cleared command.
Copy. Power on Glen Mac in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Oh, okay. I show a voltage on
And
Glen Mac.
receive.
I see Glen Mac power on.
Glen Mac bus current looks nominal.
Copy that.
SEP connectors are both green.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
So Dan, we're approaching the money part of the test to get to the proper altitude, and once we get there, that's when the test really takes place. Can you explain?
Hey, this is thermal.
Yeah, so everything that's been happening up until now, launching the balloon, getting to altitude, is all prelude to the really exciting part, which is when this test happens. So the point of this test is we need to get this test vehicle to a condition to simulate a landing on Mars, to test these new technologies that we've developed to land heavier spacecraft on Mars in the future. So what's going to happen is the test vehicle is going to drop off of the balloon. It's going to start spinning up for stability. Then our large rocket is going to fire, and we're going to blast off, going up to 4 times the speed of sound, about 3,000 miles per hour, while also climbing up from the altitude of 120,000 feet to 180,000 feet. The rocket's going to burn for about 1 minute. Then we're going to stop spinning, and that's going to be the time at 180,000 feet going Mach 4 that we're at the perfect condition to test the SIAD, that inflatable donut, which is currently packed and folded around the test vehicle. So that will inflate very quickly, and that's going to slow us down from Mach 4 down to Mach 2. Once we get down to Mach 2, then it's time for the second part of the brakes to kick in. That is our parachute. So we'll deploy the parachute. We'll see that back behind the vehicle, and that's going to slow us down from Mach 2 all the way down to where we splash down into the ocean.
And advise when you're ready for the pre-init.
Stand by.
So you can see the numbers on the chart that you see on screen right now, and we are now monitoring the ascent.
Yeah, so we're at, you can see sort of the big number in the middle is our altitude. So we're at about 113, almost 114,000 feet. Again, the target here is 120,000 feet. So we're getting pretty close at this point to the altitude where we're going to start the test.
And all the things you described, they happen very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting that it takes hours and hours for us to get to this point to be able to do the test, but the test itself only takes a couple of minutes. From the time that we drop off of the balloon to the time that we burn the rocket, test the SIAD, test the parachute, and then we're kind of coasting down, only takes a few minutes. Once the test has happened, and then we're kind of coasting, it will take a long time. It takes about 40 minutes on the parachute for us to descend from 180,000 feet to finally splash down in the ocean. So we'll be coasting for a long time, but the really active period of the test is very brief.
Go. Ordnance.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Yeah,
Please,
go. Real time.
Go.
Trajectory. Trajectory.
Go.
Very good. Thermal.
Go.
Power.
Go.
Decom.
Go.
Systems.
Go.
Ops lead.
Go.
Very good. All stations report good. TC flight.
Good flight.
TV is green for drop.
Roger that. And the status of requesting Star
Full station
48 on
countdown.
from flight safety
Full slips check.
or
Correction.
safety.
Full drive.
Yes.
RSO concur.
Completed. Point.
Copy
Test
that.
vehicle is a go for drop.
So MRF safety, RSO, we have permission to arm the Star 48.
Roger that.
Check item 249.
Flight, did you copy that?
Authorization
Flight
on
copies.
test vehicle
Permission has been granted to arm star 48.
Thank you. Recovery Director, your status for TV drop?
RD's green.
Okay, power. Let's go ahead and power
Copy
on
that.
the
Check step
safe arm power
117.
bus.
Copy that. Standing by for Safe Arm Power Bus.
Confirm clear to command.
Powering on Safe Arm Power Bus in 3, 2, 1.
TC BPO.
Mark.
Go ahead, BPO.
Yeah, TC.
Go ahead
Request
and hold
permission
the
for
turn
CN
off
to
of the
coordinate
safe arm
with
power bus.
FSO.
voltage.
Ordnance to confirm. Star 48 is on.
Copy that. Thank you, Ordnance.
Standing by for Safe Arm Power Bus off.
You're confirmed clear to command.
Copy that. And away.
Stand by. Step 126.
Flight phase.
Go ahead, phase.
Just FYI, velocity residuals are tracking very well. Pendulum is
We'll do
almost
that
non-existent.
just right
Copy that. Thank you very much.
Roger that. So authorization is granted. Just go ahead and report out when the vents are open.
Okay, thank you, sir.
TC flight.
Go ahead, flight.
Yes, sir. TV and star 48 has been successfully armed.
Copy that. Next step 1 and 1.
Check item 254.
I apologize. We'll met step 1. DPO and AC. This is DC.
So what we've just been hearing is the team has been powering the vehicle up and preparing it for the test, which is about to come up. Part of that is they have to warm up the electronics and make sure that they're warm enough to do their job during the test. And so they warm things up and check them out beforehand. And then just a minute ago, they actually enabled the big rocket motor that we're going to use to get up to Mach 4. And so that looks like that was successful as well. So this is just that final checklist of things that has to happen to make sure that everything is in working order before we start the test. And looks like we're about 9 minutes out now from the actual test beginning.
TC to Stacy on Project Net.
Rock safety OC.
Yes, is the azimuth pointing process complete?
They're still working through the final approval, I think. Hold on a second.
Rock safety
Phases
OC.
of flight. Did you
copy
get what the
report when
velocity
it's complete.
residuals were at 45
Rock
seconds
safety.
after being
Roger, just want to confirm
well,
that
we emitted
you concur
8
TV and
minutes
Star
ago.
48 is on.
7 minutes
Yeah,
ago, and
Rock
we still
safety
haven't
concurs.
busted
Thank you,
through the
sir.
requirement yet. So
COOC on the countdown.
Wow, that's spectacular. Very good. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Roger, sir. Range system checks have been completed. Request permission to proceed with LDS TV drop.
OCCO, yeah, permission to proceed with this vehicle drop.
OC copy. Checks 261, 262.
And phases of flight, I don't know if you had any
We're still
thoughts
awaiting
about
verifying
conducting
we're at
windage
the
on
load
the
altitude
unit command.
and notification.
that's a good question. Standby flight. Let me see if we can assess what we're doing here.
And Power, same question for you. Given
One thing to keep in mind as we're listening to this live feed from Hawaii is that there are different people in different buildings that are actually all working on tracking the vehicle and making sure that everything is on track for this test. And we're hearing all of them. So sometimes you're going to hear people talking on top of each other. It's a little bit jumbled sometimes, but that's just because we're getting all of those voice channels, and we're giving them to you here on this feed.
BPO is the TC on Project Net.
Systems ordnance.
Go TC. Yes, sir. Just
Ordnance.
waiting confirmation. We
Check out that ABC now.
I know, I was looking at
PO
that.
copy.
It had gone down negative 107 as low as I got. But I'm not sure what's going on.
It instantaneously jumped up.
stations, we are at holding short of step 14.13, the GlenMac initialization, which is in about 3 minutes. So stand by for GlenMac init in about 3 minutes.
Flight phase.
Go phase.
Does Power have any kind of keeping track of command delays?
That's from his affirmative. He's been doing link tests, and he's seeing about a 3-second delay.
All right, so if we're going to apply any Kentucky windage on this thing, let's just make it 3 seconds.
Copy that. Will do.
And I recommend that we do that. So I guess that would be in it at drop minus 203. You concur with that?
Lane system's green.
Flight trajectory switching to project now.
Go ahead. That's great. Thanks.
Good job. You've done well, sir.
Station's coming up on init in about 1 minute. 1 minute to GlenMac init.
PC BPO.
All right, I see you do have the right
Go ahead,
command
BPO.
queued up, so command is on my mark.
At 11:02:32, local, 119,000.
Copy that. Check step 122.
06.
Andy, this is TC on the project net.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Request permission to execute the TV drop.
TC, this is MD. You have permission to drop and fire.
1.
Copy that.
Mark.
Check step 123. OC, this is TC on the project net.
Right on the money.
Go ahead, TC. Yes, sir. The LDSD project is green. Request a clear range for execution of the TV drop.
TV drop has been authorized.
Copy that. Check 124. Three-word protocol is now in effect.
All stations countdown.
125.
Project reports TV is clear to drop. Drop has been authorized. Check 1, correction 263. Range is clear. At this time,
TC on the
three-word
project
hold is in
net.
effect. Report
I'll hand
status
it
for
over to you,
exception
sir.
only. To
Copy
TV
that.
drop.
Thank you, sir.
Check 264.
PC BPO, helium vent
And
valves
phase,
are open.
can you give
Copy
me an
that.
assessment now on the init?
Yeah, velocity residuals, 1.2 meters a second, well under the limit. We're go.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Attention all stations, attention all stations. The test vehicle is go for drop. I repeat, test vehicle is go for drop.
All stations countdown. Check 268.
TC copies.
Test vehicles to go for drop.
Rock safety copies go for drop.
Check 124. I'm sorry, 128.
All right. GoPro 4 is up and recording.
Yes.
Sending drop arm in 2, 1, mark.
Orders can confirm DCC is armed.
drop command in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop.
Spin up.
Test vehicle's away.
TV drop. Main motor ignition. Check 271.
Ignition confirmed.
DVR is recording.
DVR's recording.
All spin motors fired.
All spin motors fired.
Mach 1.
Motors fired.
Mach 1.
Altitude's increasing. Spin rate is good. Vehicle stable. Approaching Mach 2. Mach 2.
Test vehicle is at Mark 2.
Acceleration is good. Vehicle stable. Mach 3.
Mark 3.
I show over 3 Gs of acceleration.
Mach 4.
Mark 4.
Burnout detected.
Spin down.
Spin down begun.
Spin down confirmed. Velocity 1 detected.
Side deployed.
Velocity 1 detected. Side inflation.
Side inflated.
Covers deployed.
Residual spin rate 2 degrees per second.
Flight thermal.
Full thermal.
Reporting red alarms on the Star 48 motor, but we're good. They're expected, but it's interesting that casing temperatures are exceeding 200 C right now due to soak back.
Copy that.
TC OC on the project net.
Good, OC.
Roger. All range assets report good track. With exceptions, optic has a track but no visual.
Okay, copy that. Velocity
Parachute deployed.
Sensed. PDD deployed.
Throttle cut. Check item 281.
Go ahead, Rocco.
Flight real time.
Go real time.
PI is called no shoot. We don't have full shoot inflation.
Copy that. So I'm going to declare that a bad shoot. Is that your understanding?
That's affirm.
TC flight.
Go ahead, flight.
Please inform recovery director we have bad shoot.
All right, copy that. RD. This is TC on project net.
Flight instrumentation.
Did you copy the no shoot?
With them, I'm telling them now.
Okay, copy that.
Looks like the SSRS load cell is peaked out around 15,000 pounds.
That seems low, doesn't it?
Yes.
TC VPO.
Go ahead, VPO.
Yeah, TC, can you get OC to see if they've got a nail band up on the ridge that can point back at the last balloon location, see if we can pick up signal on the descending gondola.
OC, did you copy that request?
Say again.
Yes, they're requesting that telemetry antenna be pointed back at the balloon so they can reestablish communication.
Stand by.
Time shutdown.
DVR is stop recording.
Copy that.
TCRD on project.
Go ahead, RD.
Okay, confirm recovery vessel is southeast vector top speed.
Okay, copy that. OC, we can confirm the recovery vessels for the TV are exiting the area. Copy.
DC BPO.
Go ahead, BPO.
Yes, TC, we did not get termination at the time of TV release. The balloon came apart, so it's all coming down together.
For a cable cut?
Probably
Ordnance shutdown.
Copy. For a cable cut and ordnance shutdown.
We estimate 17 minutes to impact.
Ordnance shutdown.
Okay, make sure I copied correctly. You believe the balloon came apart and is on descent now?
No, we're getting TM now to suggest actually that they're coming down separately.
Okay, copy that.
So we'll give you an update on the two locations.
Okay, update me as soon as you can.
TCOC.
Go ahead, OC.
No joy on looking back on that 1831.
Roger that. Yeah, they're getting confirmation from their UHF system. I believe that the balloon destroyed itself.
Copy.
I'm awaiting status from BPO now.
TCRD.
Go ahead, RD.
Yeah, heads up. We talked to Hanoa, the balloon recovery vessel. They have eyes on it coming down the remaining south of the 22 until advised.
Okay, copy that. They have eyes on the balloon as it's descending. Did you copy that, BPO?
Say again, TC?
Yes, the recovery vessel for the balloon has eyes on it as it's descending.
Oh, excellent.
OC, this is TC on Project Net.
Go ahead, TC.
Yes, so with the recovery vessel has eyes on the balloon as it's descending, you get any information from the aircraft?
On the balloon?
Yes.
Roger, the balloon still got eyes. The aircraft still has eyes on the balloon.
Okay, copy that. Recovery director of the aircraft also have eyes on the balloon.
Yeah, we understand. Could we also, as soon as possible, get an updated impact time for the
TC, OC.
Go ahead, OC.
Roger, I think the optics also have the balloon falling.
Copy that. BPO, this is TC on Project Net.
Go TC.
Typically, you report a potential impact location. You have that information for me?
Yeah, I sure do.
Start with the balloon.
TCAMD. And TCBPO got those coordinates.
RD trajectory on Project Net.
Go ahead, trajectory.
I got 15 minutes before splashdown at the TSP that was sent, the splashdown that was sent just about a minute ago. Take about 15 minutes before splashdown.
Copy, 15 minutes till splash at the last impact point.
Correct.
All right, BPO, go ahead with those coordinates for the
plate
balloon.
phase, we're 26 meters a second. Balloon first. 22.
Copy 26 meters per second.
North. 22.22 north. 160.74. That's a minus 160.74. And then on the gondola, shooted gondola, the 22.27 north, 22.27 north by minus 160.82, 160.82.
Okay, so I have, on the balloon itself, I have 22.22 and minus 160.74.
Affirmative.
On the shooted gondola, I have 22.27 and negative 160.82.
Affirmative. Good copy.
OC copy. RD copies. Thank you, gentlemen. Check 131.
Check out of 282.
Go ahead, ordnance.
Initial check. Looks like all ordnance
this
were fired.
AMD.
Good. I'd like to do an assessment with the whole team.
To
on
find out
that,
if the recovery vessels are now
flash here and,
underway
get
to,
that,
if they have visual on the
make sure that they
test vehicle
are aware
and
if
if they're
anything
underway to
did not fire.
recover.
It's good to know that everything was commanded to have fired.
So
Let's
RD,
go back and look at
this
the
is
physics and look
TC
at
on the
spin rates
project
and
now.
make sure that things have indeed fired.
Sounds good. One thing I could probably
TC
use
already
is
on project now. Give me
under
two.
the
I'm
playback
on the horn with
from
the recovery vessel right
power
now.
and decom
Okay, copy that.
and double check. Everything was in real time, so it's a little hard to freeze everything, but initial quick look looks really good.
TC. Yeah, please let me know when the area is clear and the recovery vessel for the balloon has been released to enter the area. Copy.
Flight phase 24 meters a second now.
Copy that.
TC,
I got a question for you.
net. Go ahead, OC. I got one radar LOS on balloon.
GPS
You
drop
need
out.
to track with the others.
Did you look by any
Do
chance?
you have a location
Just
for
curious.
me that they can provide for an
Negative.
estimated splash location?
Okay.
Stand by.
Flight GNC.
Go GNC.
We have GPS latitude and longitude, if that's helpful.
Let's see. Yeah, only work that if the trajectory is asking for that. I think he had his own display of that.
Yes, sir. We passed the coordinates on for the balloon and the gondola to the Hanoa, and we're standing by for a time on target from them. They're doing some math.
Understood. And for the test vehicle, what's the plan there? Have you released them to head towards the splashdown location?
No, sir. No, we have not. We have 15 minutes to splash. We got a motor in southeast until they get eyes on it, and then we'll make the call then.
RD trajectory.
Go trajectory.
We're approaching 11 minutes to splashdown.
Understand, 11 minutes.
Flight phase, we're just about 20 meters a second now.
Yeah, our plan
Altitude,
is splash,
4.5
and then we'll
kilometers.
head them in.
Copy that.
Okay, so no way we can go ahead and head them in now. I mean, what's your concern there?
Consider if it's coming in ballistic, we'd like for them to have eyes on it.
So they don't have a visual on it now?
I'm redialing the sat phone at this time. The last time we spoke to them, they did not. They lost it at burn.
Hit altitude shutdown.
RD, this is AMD. It's not coming in ballistic. It is undershoot,
Copy,
coming in at
altitude
about
shutdown.
30 meters per second.
LOS.
And looks like we have LOS.
Yeah, it's about 22
hey guys, let's
nautical miles
quickly,
to their north.
do a quick assessment
location.
of
That's the
whether or not we
sixth
think
splashdown.
all the ordnance has fired, just for the benefit of the recovery forces, so
Roger
that we
that.
can tell them if there's anything to be concerned about. So let's just kind of go through the big pieces of ordnance here, and ordnance. Go ahead and step in if you have any other comments. Let's start with the big picture. Let's see, Star 48, I think it obviously expired, right? Anybody,
2 thumbs up on that one?
yeah, I think so. Spin motors, we got the commanded. I was not able to catch the spin rate. Let's see, trajectory, are you able to confirm the
the chute did deploy,
rate?
but it did not fully inflate.
Well, how close are we? I mean,
Flight,
is it
repeat, please.
Just want to be able, if you can, in your data, were you able to confirm that all 4 spin motors fired?
Yes, sir. All 4 fired. All 4 spin-ups and spin-downs. It was right on the money.
I can confirm all 8 bridge wires on the spin-up and all 8 bridge wires on the spin-down.
Flight Thermal can also confirm all 8 had similar
There's
thermal.
2 bridge wires per motor.
It's currently going twice.
Yeah, and flight, the residual spin rate was like 2-3 degrees per second.
Versus 10
okay.
meters per second.
Okay, and gas generators, I don't know if we have any ability to
from whenever you can get a go from RSO.
That's my top screen right here.
Can you see
I'm good with that.
the pressure profile? I mean, you know that they were commanded, but can you confirm that all the bottles actually did go off?
I don't think I can. Maybe instrumentation can.
Instrumentation, the question on the floor here is whether or not we can confirm that all the gas generators did in fact fire, not just commanded, but they did in fact fire.
I saw peak pressures around 2.3
on Project Net
PSI.
RSO.
I don't know how else I can tell.
Flight, this is thermal.
Copy. Thermal, go ahead.
If you look at the SIAD, it looked like it deployed perfectly. Right?
NASA safety, this is
There was some margin there. We didn't have
TC
to
on Project Net.
inflate. Not all the bottles would have to fire. We could still look like that.
NASA safety.
The best way to look is the...
Yes, so we've had the test vehicle come in under anomalous
Well, that's just the
conditions.
command.
The recovery director is looking for a safety call. You could please move over to anomaly
Also,
1
temperature.
For a discussion.
Temperature signature is the same for all 8.
For them to vector in the recovery shift.
Yeah, thermal is a good way. We have a thermometer.
Copy that, yeah. All 8 have
Recovery
the
director,
same
if you could
exact
please move
thermal
over to
profile.
anomaly 1.
So.
Copy that. Okay, that's good to know. All right.
All 9, sorry. All 9.
Copy that. See, obviously the drop circuit went. Let's see, the cable cut. I guess we can't really confirm that it's just for the MFT that it cut.
Clear rock safety.
Are we clear to bring down carrier and tone?
Yes, sir. You're clear to bring it down.
We can't confirm necessarily all the R&Rs, right? But that's not a hazard.
Carrier and tone down.
The spin motors were good. We're right on the money. And then the only other thing is the bridle tie downs. Again, I don't think there's anything we can tell. Those are G2s anyway, right? Yeah, the cutters.
All right, we have just seen the very first experimental flight test of LDSD. Dan, how did it go?
Well, what we just saw was a really good test. Keep in mind that our test goals were to inflate the balloon, launch it, get up to altitude, successfully drop off the balloon, have our rocket fire, and get up to speed. And like I had mentioned before, everything beyond that was really just a cherry on top. We met all of those goals. Everything up to that point went really, really well. We also deployed the SIAD, that inflatable donut, successfully. It looks from the video feed that we had like that worked perfectly. What we did see at the end was that the parachute does not look like it deployed that well. They mentioned on the line that it was a bad chute. That means that it deployed, but it didn't fully inflate. So this is an opportunity for us to take a look at the data, learn what happened, and apply that for the next test, which is scheduled for next summer, to make sure that we're learning the appropriate lessons here.
There's a saying among the members of the team and your project manager that if everything works absolutely perfectly, that's an A. But if something goes wrong, something like this, you get an A+. And what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so what we mean by that is that in these sorts of tests, sort of like in life in general, you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. And so we had something go wrong with the parachute, and we're going to learn a lot from this, and we'll be able to apply that for next time. So in a way, that's a more valuable experience for us than if everything had gone exactly according to plan.
And the parachute, this is the biggest supersonic parachute ever been made. In fact, there was no ability to test it in a chamber as we normally did with Curiosity's parachute. You were able to test it. You had to take it outdoors. This is the first time with a parachute this big.
Yeah, that's right. So this is sort of new territory that we're in. We haven't tested this parachute in this way before, and so yeah, we went into this knowing that it was a test, and we had to do the test to see what would happen. And so that's why this is such a valuable experience for us.
So once again, the criteria for a successful test was to get it to the proper altitude, to make sure that the test vehicle fired, and to get information. Information is the key.
That's right. And the information that we got back down here in real time, that video feed that we saw, and the information that the members of the team that we see here on screen were getting, is really actually just a limited set of the full information that was being gathered. Most of the information is actually stored on a special black box on the vehicle, just like there is on an airplane. And when the vehicle splashes down in the ocean, that black box is designed to separate from the vehicle and float. And it has a little GPS beacon that's going to ping so we know where to find it. And there's a special ship whose job it's going to be to go find that black box and fish it out of the ocean, because that's really the treasure trove of all of the detailed pressure, temperature, force, high-definition video, all of those measurements that are really key to us to understanding exactly what happened throughout this test. So as quickly as possible, a boat is going to go out, fish that black box out of the water, bring it back to the island, and then team members are going to start looking at that data.
And I also should mention the fact that we will not be able to see an actual splashdown because the cameras turned off at 15,000 feet. Could you explain why the cameras had to go off before it reached the water?
Yeah, the cameras that are on board the vehicle have to be powered down, along with everything else, all the other electronics on the vehicle powered down before the splashdown event, to make sure that nothing is damaged during the splashdown, and to make sure that all of our data gets successfully saved into that black box and that it's prepared for that splashdown. So that's why that feed is going. I'm not sure if it's cut already, but it's certainly going to cut before we get to the point of being able to splash down in the water. We may have some sort of external video from long range or something that might show the splashdown. I'm not sure.
So what's going to be happening from here on out? There's boats standing by, ready to go out and retrieve also the black box, as you say. What's happening next?
So at this point in time, a few minutes ago, we actually heard some of those preparations being made where they were looking at where the vehicle is projected to land in the water and where the balloon is projected to land in the water. And the reason for that is because it's very important for us to get all of these things out of the ocean so that we can study them and understand what happened. So there are ships that are standing by to go pick up every single thing out of the ocean and take it back to the island so that we can study it more. So that's really what the team is going to be focusing on here going forward.
And how long will it be before we will have that information? I understand it will take some time to get out there.
Yeah, it's going to take a day or two, actually, for the boat to get that black box, get it back to the island. This vehicle actually flew quite a long ways, traveling at 4 times the speed of sound. It got pretty far out there away from the island by the time it splashes down. So it's going to take a while for these boats going pretty slow to find that black box, fish it out, and then make their way back to the island. And so it's a day or two before we're going to get that data and be able to really study it and then come up with more definitive conclusions about exactly what happened in the test.
And this is information that can be used for future tests, and when will those future tests be taking place?
So this test is the first of a series of 3 tests that we have planned. The next 2 tests are planned for next summer, so about a year from now, also out of Hawaii. So the reason that we left that gap, a 1-year gap from the first test to the second test, is exactly for this reason. If something doesn't go quite according to plan, we wanted some time to be able to really understand what happened and be able to learn from it and make some changes to apply it for next time.
All right, so that wraps things up here for the first experimental flight test of LDSD, a first of its kind. All the information we learned from this time will help prepare the team for doing this 2 more times next summer, same place, same time of the year. And we will have a news briefing tomorrow after we get a little bit more information. That news briefing will take place via telephone for reporters. It'll be a news telecon. It will happen at 7 a.m. Hawaii time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And for more information, you can check this website. It's http://bit.ly/NASA LDSD, all capital letters, NASA LDSD. Our thanks to Dan Koda as our great LDSD commentator and background person, and the whole team out at the Pacific Missile Range Facility on Kauai, Hawaii. Thank you, everyone. O'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Hawaii time, and we are all standing by.
BPO, this is TC on the project.
TC, this is BPO, umbilical cable, telemetry.
Copy that. Check item 180.
Good telemetry.
Battery. BPO, this is biblical cables have been pulled.
Good, TC.
Yeah, we're getting the screensaver on Global Mapper.
Yes, Robert here making the
flight systems. Looks like we're good.
Copy that. Good vehicle following UMBI pull.
OSF, master safety.
SS, go.
Roger, I'm moving over to project
so
safety.
we're waiting for
If you
Global
could give me
Mapper to
your
come up.
status on that net when you're ready.
Copy, will do.
I'd like to let people know just how much they'll be able to see during this test. We have 3 launch pad cameras on the ground, 3 range cameras, and we also have 2 infrared cameras that we'll be watching. But these are all ground assets. These are all cameras on the ground. So we'll be able to see this balloon launch and go up and on ascent. Up until it's just a tiny dot, and then we will lose a visual on it. We won't be able to see it any longer, and so for several hours we will not be able to see it.
Check item 182.
And then we will be able to get visual on it again when cameras on the test vehicle fire up about 20 minutes or so before the drop test begins. So just letting people know what kind of pictures they will be seeing today.
NASA OSS, NSO.
Not safety, this is OSS. I do not have the other channel on this radio for status.
Roger, are you clear of the area and all non-essential personnel clear?
Yes, I've cleared the area. All other personnel have left.
Roger.
BPO, this is TC on Project Net.
Balloon has been released from the spool.
Balloon has been released from the spool. Check item 183.
Balloon is launched. Balloon is launched.
Balloon launch, balloon launch. Launch time 18:40:52. TC, OC. Go ahead, OC. Roger, launch count has been adjusted to account for actual T0. I copy that. BPO, this is TC on Project Net.
He landed on Mars a couple of years ago, and it weighs a little bit less than a Mini Cooper. Oh, hold on. I think that we're getting something on the VOCA that we might want to bring up.
Those with proper hold authority are allowed to call a hold on the Project Net from this point through balloon launch. The following personnel have hold authority for this terminal count: Mission Director, Test Conductor, Flight Director, BPO Mission Manager, Recovery Director, and the appropriate range personnel.
Wait a sec. So, Dan, was that a hold? Is everything going to be continuing as planned, or was that a hold?
No, it wasn't a hold. They were just reviewing which people actually have the authority to place a hold on the test from this point on. So there was just a review of personnel, but everything is still going according to schedule.
So we heard the go, no-go. Everything is ready to go ahead as planned. The launch window is up until, is it noon our time or beyond that?
Yeah, so we're looking at sort of between now and about noon Pacific, so within the next half hour or so. We don't have anything more specific just yet.
All right, so standing by.
All stations, this is BPO. Inflation is complete.
DC copy. All station to countdown. Balloon inflation has been completed. Check item 179. Balloon inflation completion time is 18:33:15.
OSS, master safety.
OSS, go.
Roger. Let me know when you all are clear of the area.
Correct. I will.
We just heard that inflation is complete, so the balloon is ready to launch at any time now.
Yeah, the latest I'm hearing is that we're maybe about 10 minutes out. There's a few last-minute things to do, so they're getting really close, but they're not quite there yet.
And let's explain once again why we're doing this. We've been talking about we're trying to create a better way to land on Mars. Why is it necessary? Haven't we already landed on Mars? Curiosity landed just a year ago. Why is this necessary?
Yeah, so the Curiosity rover weighs a little bit less than a Mini Cooper, and that's already a pretty good size for a rover on Mars. But we know that in the future we want to land bigger stuff, bigger rovers, and eventually human habitats on Mars. And those things are going to be a lot heavier than Curiosity, and that means that it's going to be harder to slow them down for the landing on Mars. If we try landing a big human habitat on Mars using the same braking system that we used to land Curiosity, it would be a little bit like pulling the brakes out of a Mini Cooper and just sticking them into a semi-truck and hoping that they'll work. They wouldn't work very well. If you want to drive a semi-truck, you need bigger brakes that are designed to slow down a semi-truck. And so what we're doing today is we're testing the bigger brakes that we've specifically designed to land bigger spacecraft on Mars in the future.
And I have to correct myself. I just produced a rover report celebrating Curiosity's first Martian year on Mars. So landed a Martian year ago. So what's up ahead? We're just standing by waiting for this launch to take place. The window is anywhere between now and the top of the hour. That's 12. And I want to remind folks that Dan and I are sitting comfortably in a studio at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. We're the folks that built this test vehicle, but this experimental test is actually taking place at the U.S. Navy's Pacific Missile Range Facility. It's on the west end of Kauai, Hawaii. Now, this is considered an ideal location because of its climate, and there's plenty of open space there, free of encroachment. The base itself covers roughly 2,385 acres, but there's also over 1,100 square miles of instrumented underwater range and over 42,000 square miles of controlled airspace. It is the world's largest range with instruments that can simultaneously track ships, aircraft, space vehicles, even submarines. And that is why we are there.
Just screen grab me eating peanuts. See, there's me eating peanuts. Slap in your face. Such a fat ass. Steve has the answers at hand, and You're like sneezing.
Yeah, you're either sneezing or putting peanuts up your nose. Those are the two options.
Wait, did the background monitor say LDSD?
Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't even know that. I didn't know he was playing up.
Yeah, kick me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm with stupid. And we're all pointing up.
You're on the video. Good. Good. I'm like, what is this?
Hey guys, keep it down a little bit. It's getting a little too loud.
Let's bring people up to speed once again. What to expect during the test. My understanding is we're getting pretty close. So what will folks be seeing as this test begins?
Yeah, so what we're waiting on, one of the last things that has to happen is there's an umbilical cable connecting the test vehicle to the ground, and that has to be pulled before we can launch the balloon. So that's actually one of the last steps that they're waiting on right now. After the balloon launches, it's going to take a couple of hours to float up to 120,000 feet. That's the altitude where the test vehicle is going to drop off the balloon, and the rest of the test will start. What's going to happen then is the test vehicle drops off the balloon, and then it starts spinning up for stability like a football. Then the big rocket in the back of it, you could actually see the nozzle of that rocket in the view just now, will fire and blast the vehicle off, accelerating it up to 4 times the speed of sound. It also takes it on an upward trajectory, so it increases the altitude from 120,000 to 180,000 feet. That's 5 times as high as a 747 flies. That rocket burns for about 1 minute, and after it burns out, then we stop spinning to get ready for our test, and that's the time when we're going just the right speed and we're at just the right altitude to simulate those Mars conditions. So that's when we very quickly inflate the SIAD, that inflatable donut. And so that takes us down from Mach 4 to Mach 2. We're taking all sorts of measurements at that time, pressure measurements, temperature measurements, video, checking to see how that SIAD is performing. Once we slow down to about Mach 2, then it's time for the second part of the braking system to kick in, and that is a big parachute. It's actually the largest supersonic parachute that we've ever tested. It's 110 feet in diameter. It's over twice the area of the parachute that we used to land Curiosity a couple of years ago. And so that parachute will deploy, and then that will slow us down from Mach 2 to sort of a coasting speed where we'll eventually coast down into the Pacific Ocean, and then we'll send a ship out to go fish it out.
Dan, you just brought up Curiosity, and that brings up a point. Haven't we already landed on Mars, and why is this necessary?
Yeah, so Curiosity...
RD's green. OC. OC green, no exceptions. Except 88. MD, this is TC on the project net.
TC, this is MD. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Request permission to execute balloon launch.
TC, this is MD. You may launch when ready.
Thank you, sir. All stations in the TC's checklist, all steps through step 89 are complete. OC, this is TC on the project net. OC, go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. The LDSD project is green. We request a clear range for execution of the balloon launch. OC copies. When final clearance has been granted, I will report back. Thank you, sir. Next step, 90.
OC FSO.
What FSO?
Predicted track of the balloon based on latest data indicates that we're going to be first headed offshore up until about 10,000 feet, then the balloon will go northeast till about 35,000 feet. Then between up to 40,000 feet will be coming inland, then due north from there. It won't be until about 60,000 feet that the winds will help us get offshore. So just be advised, worst case scenario is we'll overfly populated areas such as Hanalei, but that's the worst case scenario at this time.
Those two copies.
And we have warned the FAA, so they're aware of that.
All right, just a few minutes ago, we heard the go, no-go, and the status polls. And Dan, what does that mean?
Looks like we're go for launching the balloon. Everything is looking great, and now they're just doing some of the very final preparations before they get there.
And we also witnessed a very, very old tradition from the folks here at JPL, breaking out the peanuts. Here at JPL, it's a tradition. These are good luck peanuts dating back to old missions where we had difficulties and challenges and able to finally get a success one day when one of the engineers pulled out some peanuts, and voila, it was decided that eating peanuts before a big mission is a good luck charm for us, and so there they are. They're having their peanuts.
And all stations here at the top. Just a reminder, with when the umbilical pulls here at approximately L-10 minutes, we'll be watching very closely our telemetry flow, because that is a no-go criteria. If we
go ahead.
Do we coming up on step 174? I need to know if you're going to have any issues. Provide me a clean range for balloon launch.
It is clean right now. Like we advised before, we advised the FAA there's a potential, so keep an eye on it, but you're good to go.
Copy. Thank you, sir. CO, OC on the countdown.
Go ahead.
Roger, sir. Range system checks have been completed and ready. Request permission to proceed with LDSD balloon launch.
CCO, permission granted. Proceed with balloon launch.
OC copy. Check 174, 175, 176. TC, OC on the project net. Go ahead, OC. Roger. Range is clear. Balloon launch is authorized. Copy that. Launch authorized. BPO, this is TC on the project net.
Go, TC.
Yes, sir. Check item authorized commence the balloon launch. Check item 177.
Thank you, TC.
Also at this time, check item 178. We're going to initiate three-word hold protocol at this time. Report your status by exception only.
We could go back on. Yeah. Oh, then we would see it. Well, the test field is swaying. It's swinging a little bit. You can see it in the top corner there. We actually looked at the azimuth. We can read it. 14.7. Oh, they moved.
DNC off net. Flight ordnance.
Go ahead, ordnance.
Can I get you over here for a second?
TC, this is NSO.
Go ahead, NSO.
Roger, we've got 2 more people and we're getting ready to head out of the area.
Okay, copy that. TCOC. TCOC. Go ahead, OC. Roger, we got AOS on all TM antennas. Can you repeat? Roger, AOS on all TM antennas. Okay, copy that, AOS all antennas.
Rock safety, this is systems on TVNet.
CCOC. Go ahead, OC.
Rock
Range
safety.
reports all radars
Rock
beacon
safety,
locked.
do you see
Copy that. All radars on target.
any different telemetry on the drop circuit?
Do I see anything different than you?
Well, no, I'm wondering if you see a new tone.
No, I do not see a new tone.
Okay, because we're seeing a new tone on our side. We're seeing the destruct
CCOC.
tone as being sent.
Go ahead, OC.
No,
all
not
optics,
seeing it.
AOS.
You're not seeing that, okay.
Roger that. I see great tracking
All
from
right.
here.
Thank you.
I'll say it's in a countdown. Let's see. We have launch, and at this time we have AOS on beacon, AOS on telemetry. We're checked through item 190.
Ordnance? It looks good? Okay. All right, thank you, Rock Safety. That scared us a little bit.
Copy.
Circle. It's the No, the circle. The X is where the descent vector is. So where is it? The X is where it is? Circle. That's well, the prediction was a loop-to-loop, then you're right. There's a loop-to-loop, and that goes to northwest. Almost at 10,000 feet. Altitude lower. Oh, there it is. Sorry. So plus 6 minutes and we're at 8,500 feet. Yeah, we're going over. We're going over 1,000 feet per minute. The one that's like right on the shoreline. Our average is more than 1,000 feet per minute. Did anyone catch that actual launch time? That's long